What's up, you fools? Sean and Matt is United, your favorite Eurovision channel. Cyprus took the stage earlier today with Andromache's Ela, and she brought her big shell with the waves on the side. I know that they had a little additional rehearsal at some point, as requested by the EBU, which I did. So they kind of had to redo a lot of things. I know they were affected by the changes on the staging a little bit, and therefore, they needed more time. Where are they at? Where are we going with this? Let's talk this through. Sean, what are your thoughts?
It's a little bit of a repeat of the last video we just did for Australia, but it's all down to the camera work again, unfortunately. Look, there are issues with this one as it stands at the minute. I think the shell is a great idea. I think a lot of it works. Some of it doesn't. I think Roy raised a very valid point when we were watching it live about the silhouettes and the fact that, when there's the two dancers and Andromache there, it can get a little bit confusing with the silhouettes. But this is the idea they've gone for. They've got to roll with this now, unfortunately for them. I guess if that's an issue. For me, particularly on the first chorus, the camera work just wasn't there for me. It was way too drawn out, too far out. You need to connect with the artist. You need to make a connection between Andromache and the audience watching at home. Particularly for a song like this, because it's not like an upbeat banger type song where that is enough to carry it. The final minute of the song, I think the camera work there is brilliant. I think the golden tones that they're using works really well. The lighting, brilliant. No faults with her performance, no faults with the dancers for me. Just, a few more close-ups and just bring it a little bit more intimate with the camera work. I think that would do a better job for them. But at the minute, again, it's sort of being let down by feeling a little bit too drawn out. You need to make that connection between the artist and the audience.
Yeah, no, you got that right. And Andromache, as you said, she looked amazing. I call her my little mermaid because she has that feel in there. She looks gorgeous. She sounded really good. So she is not the problem. She moves sensually and she knows exactly what she's doing. The problem is the camera work. And I know it's always like, well, it's always the camera work. But in this case, it is really a significant impact. Even they have like a lot of wide shots, but even like I call them mid shots. I don't know what the proper term is, where you can see like the entire shell still. She blends into the shell. And you kind of, it's not hard to, but she certainly just blends in and doesn't stand out. And she needs to be the focus on the performance. So, and then when I have it on the longer, it's kind of like, huh? Because I want to have the dancers as well. I understand that they do their things on the side for a little while. It just takes a little bit away from the overall experience. And that was the problem. The projections are really nice on there and everything else. Again, it's really, I don't know what the team of Cyprus can do on their end, and like vocals or the projection. It all looks right. It just doesn't come together visually as much as we thought. The only thing they can talk about is the silhouettes, which, interesting enough, in some parts it actually works quite well when you see them, but in other parts it looks really messy, like you have more people in there than you thought there would be. So yeah, I don't know if they didn't think about that or that was intentional. I'm not quite sure, but that is one part I certainly agree with as well. So ultimately, I do think when I say it's not too late for Cyprus, I mean it, because the good news is things can still be fixed with that one. Because, as said, vocally, visually, there are lots of cool things. It's just, again, where is Andromache sometimes, and where did she go? And that performance is not necessarily made for lots of wide shots and mid shots. It needs to be a little closer, and hopefully they'll take that to heart. I don't know. We kind of answered the question I usually ask at this point, Sean. But you're in charge of Cyprus for the dress rehearsal. What changes are you going to implement?
Directorial with the camera work, bring it closer. As I said, make the connection between the artist and the audience, because if you're going to sell the song, particularly with a song that, it's half Greek, so you kind of lose a little bit of the sort of translation. I know the feelings there, but you've got to try and make that connection between, the artist and the camera, and you just can't do that when the camera's at the back of the arena, or if it's like under the waterfall. You lose the first chorus in particular. there's nothing really else I can sort of pick fault with. I think the silhouettes is kind of a little bit nitpicky because I think it works fine in certain areas of the performance. And
Yeah.
when it's like the golden light, actually looks pretty cool with the silhouettes as well. But yeah, for me, I would just be looking at the camera angles and thinking, where can we improve it? Some wide shots are fine, but we don't want it to be like sort of Tel Aviv where every second shot was a wide shot, for a lot
Yeah.
of performances. So yeah, that's what I'd change. Other than that, can't really pick many more faults.
Yeah, no, and everything else I would add would be nitpicky. Like I was seeing the backup dancers, like they were very stoic faces. I wish they would be a little softer, maybe. But that's again nitpicking. Those little things that I don't think will have a major impact. So for Cyprus, it's all about look at some of these cuts, bring him closer to Andromache, and even if it means sacrificing a little bit of the cool shell effects, because the more you stay away from her, the more you will lose the audience, I think, and that is something you don't want. But I'm still hopeful. I still have a good feeling about Cyprus pulling this together because you got something there, and I'm rooting for you. So watch that clip on YouTube, everyone, and go back. Do you agree with us, or are we being too critical here? Whatever it is, politely and in our comment section, we would love to hear from you. We'll see you in the next video.